Yeah, that's not Xixo, by the way. All
All
right,
right.
sounds good.
So the lineups that players brought, Tides brought Druid, Hunter, and Warrior, and Xixo brought Shaman, Rogue, and Warlock. Xixo starting with his trusty Shaman deck with Fell Reaver, we already see the card, and Tides going with the Face Hunter. Who do you think has an edge in this match?
I have to say that whoever can get something to stick by turn 2 or 3. So right now I think Sixo's at a pretty large advantage because he has the Fell Reaver next turn. Because now Tides is forced to trade a little bit, like reduce the damage to try and make sure you can stabilize on board. And if Sixo misses a drop here, then he's kind of in trouble. Although he still has the Earth Shock and he can put on pressure against Face Hunters, so it basically comes down to whoever can get the better edge and damage wise, and then not blink first, because there is that snake trap right for Tides. So
Yeah.
Sixo is never going to want to trade whatsoever.
Fell Reaver is such an interesting card, especially in this matchup. Like, most of the time, people play BGH, but Hunter doesn't play the BGH. And most of the Hunters in the past, they play Hunter's Mark, but Hunter's Mark is less and less popular, especially in the Face Hunter. There is Iron Beguile, people play 12s, but then silencing an 8/8 doesn't matter that much. So right now, Sixo positioned himself to have lots of damage, especially with the Doomhammer in his hand and Crackle. That's a lot of damage. So this is a race, basically. Who is going to win this race?
Right. Well, Sixo, well, he almost had lethal. But that explosive trap actually makes him one short because he can't do 17 damage. He only can do 16. Now, of course, Tides realizes that it's very easy for his opponent to simply get that. Xixo can still roll with a high crackle. But if he can't get this damage with the Pilot Shredder, that's going to be really tough.
What can he get with the Pilot Shredder, though? If there is unstable gold, that would be so devastating for Tides of Time.
I don't think is he going to kill out the Shredder, or is he just going to let the explosive trap threaten to kill and force him to trade? Because he has Snake Trap, right?
Yeah, I like the explosive trap better. He just needs to count like how much damage can Shaman deal, and make some gambles as well. Make a risk assessment, like what does Shaman need to have in his hand in those 3 cards to kill me, and how much damage it will be in total.
Yeah,
Alright,
it's
so
still
Tides goes to
plenty.
face here.
And his opponent doesn't have Lightning Storm. The only out, I think, was Rock Biter. Now he's caught in a really awkward spot where, like, picking off some of these minions actually creates more minions and you don't reduce damage that much.
I'm trying to count if Flametongue Totem is lethal, but I don't think it is. That's 12 points of damage. No, it's not even. Like 8 from Fell Reaver. He needs to deal 9. If he gets a Flametongue Totem and then rolls a spell power, spell damage totem from the totem, and then crackles for 6, for 7 actually with the spell damage, then that's lethal.
Wow. That is pretty intense.
Yeah.
So the explosive trap will trigger. Let's see what comes out of the Pilot Shredder first.
Loot Hoarder is kind of like a blank.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually it.
Right.
With so much damage from Hunter, there is a quick shot in Tide's hand as well. I don't think there's anything Xixo can do here.
No, he needed that Pilot Shredder to trade into something. He's gonna crackle his Loot Hoarder just on the off chance he might get a Noyotron. No, that's gonna do it. I mean, Xixo reaching to every single corner of his room to try and get himself out of this one, but he can't finagle himself out of this situation. Tides his Hunter, funky things, but you already saw 3 cards in which puts him in a interesting spot. Drew the Flame is great as anti-aggro. If it's a 2/5, it often can trade 2 for 1, maybe even more. And, maybe that's an opportunity for him to stabilize compared to Shaded Next Ramage, which needs some time to ramp up. Other than aggro, it's like you usually want Shaded Next Ramage, but in this scenario, it's pretty good.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a good card. And I'm thinking that maybe Druid of the Flame will create a new archetype for Druids. Maybe Watcher Druid will be back because looking at the 2/5, especially played on turn 3, what I want to have is Defender of Argus and get it a 3/7, a 3/6 stance. So still, right now players got the new card and they are definitely trying it. Here in this situation, getting double 2/5s
Wow.
against Shaman, that's so deadly. Those totems are not going to survive at all.
Yeah, very difficult to deal with. This gives Tides the ability to preemptively get ahead on board. And he's drawn okay so far. Pretty good to start things off, but he's going to need to start picking up some minions because if he draws every single spell combination, Savage or Force of Nature, he's just going to have responses to the board. And this minion already, the Yeti is going to be a Boulder Fist Ogre status, is already problematic.
Also, there is another important part that Xixo is playing Mech Shaman, and the deck is known. Like pro players, they know what's inside and what's not. The card that's actually omitted here is Lightning Storm. Like not everyone plays Lightning Storm in this Mech Shaman, so you can just go and overextend a bit because you feel like he's not going to Lightning Storm this board, or it's less likely than against normal midrange Shaman.
Wow, reversing switch. That's somewhat humorous considering.
Whoa.
The Druid of Flame is exactly the inverse of each other.
Well, even like getting the extra 3 points of damage when you reverse switch the 2/5. But here, still, I think just getting the Desert Drake, drawing a card is so powerful. And Xixo is already at 16. After the attack, he will be at 12. And, he only has
right. We haven't considered the possibility, like at the very beginning of the game, whether or not Shaman can survive the Druid, but now it seems like the board's been taken by the Shaman player, and there is Mark of the Wild, so that's definitely the card to enable the Druid of the Flame. Really interesting from Tides. Really interesting. How much damage? He's got 7 damage this turn.
9 points of damage with the switch, I believe. Wait, is that
right?
It's even 10, I think. So if you switch, it's 5 plus 2 is 7, 8 with hero power. It's really, really close, actually. Is there any merit in trying to mill Xixo here? That's maybe if you are able to mill somehow. That's more points of damage. Oh, trading with the Fire Elemental.
Yeah, forcing the Fel Reaver to attack into it, saying you don't have any removal or burn, or if you do, I'll be really sad.
Well, for now, Xixo doesn't have any removal for that. He can set up Anirotrons, but then Dr. Boom is a better play. So for Tides, I think he can just leave it as it is.
Yeah, but then what's funny is that there is the reversing switch on the other end. That's actually the right play, considering that his opponent did have a way to punish originally.
Yeah.
And now it's just like the other way back.
Just reverse the 4/1 into 1/4, kill it easily, and develop your board. Well, Xixo is stabilizing. If not for Ancient of Lore in Tide's hand, Xixo will be in a very good position here.
And now Six already uses mind control tech, but imagine if you drew that. What? He plays Malygos.
Malygos Druid from Tides of Time again. Well, when I casted Tides of Time for the first time in my life, he was playing Malygos Druid at Valley Town. I think it was versus Era, and he had a very nice run there. So Tides is one of those guys who really experiments with the decks. He is a deck builder. As well as Xixo, I guess. Like, Xixo brought this Mech Shaman. I think this is his original build.
But he's got a Recombobulator in it. That's so interesting. Alright, well, nice play here from Xixo to Earthshock. Not just to remove the effect, but also to buff it back up to basically 8 attack. Almost full status. And I think Tides might have to bow out of this one. There's no way for him to catch back up on board. He might Wrath for 1 just to see what options, but even if he gets Big Game Hunter, he is in big trouble right now.
Yeah, the board from Xixo is just amazing with so many big creatures and those Anirotrons protecting the setup. Even the Whirlwind's Appomatic. really intense board. And maybe that's why like this shaman actually works. Sometimes you just get some damage early, but you are able to deal with whatever your opponent throws at you, and then you just play all those big min with Druids of the Flame. He opts to take his War deck versus Xixos. All right, when I see Direwolf Alpha, I'm thinking Zoo.
It should be Zoo. Maybe it just has Zoo with Imp Gang Boss, and that replaces Harvest Golem. So that way you have a different kind of sticky minion. It functions very similarly to Harvest Golem, although it has ability to scale even better just because, you know, the fact that you can taunt it with Defender of Argus and still take out stuff and spawn the 1/1 is really annoying for your opponent.
Oh yeah, you can also I think play the Void Colors. I guess players still need to test it, but when you have so many demons, and you can also avoid Doomguard's drawback through discarding cards, I think Void Color makes some sense. But still, maybe it doesn't. It all needs to be tested. The Gangboss, coin Gangboss on turn 2 is just an amazing and powerful play.
Look at that respect. He executes Gang Boss. It's just so powerful, man. Like, that card is nuts. The moment I saw it, I was like, I thought about it and I was like, eh. And then I thought about it again and I was like, whoa, this card's insane. It's like, just because of the amount of pressure that it puts on your opponent, it like weakens AoE. But at the same time, it like creates this dynamic where because it's a demon, it's still a threat because of other stuff with demons too. So like if you ever have, like say you're running Missions of Pain, and it's just like another target where if you get Demon Fire or Demon Heart, it's just like ridiculous. So I'm looking forward to see how people can really synergize with Imp Gang Boss. Not to mention that, like, if you Bane of Doom, you might get that card too, which improves it better than just, you know, Flame Imp and Voidwalker.
Oh yeah, definitely. Gambos is really strong. And here, Xixo playing Zoo versus the Warrior will be an amazing matchup for Xixo. Like we mentioned it before in the RDU Freshka match, even though RDU was playing a different kind of Warlock. Here with the Zoo and this beginning, like Tide's not really able to do anything.
Tide's actually AFK'd while pointing something. Oh, he was pretending like he had something, and then he just armored up. Yeah, he's got nothing right now. He's got Brawl next turn.
Yeah.
I wonder how Xixo interpreted that. He's like, yeah, maybe he has Shield Slam, he just doesn't want to use it. Oh boy.
Well, Xixo didn't have many plays anyway, so just tapping made a lot of sense. Setting up the Derby Egg just to have a bit more brawl value, and Tides has to brawl here or doesn't. Like it's so awkward because when you brawl, yeah, I don't think it's a brawl turn really. Then what do you do?
It's not because it has such sharp potential to backfire. If any of the 3/2s survive and you kill the egg, you actually leave 7 power on board. It's exactly the same as it was before, and it's a 50% chance likelihood. So I think you'd rather just use the Fire War Axe, be in a position where you can kill the egg and then brawl.
Yeah. And also not playing the Brawl
time.
on 5 maybe will send a message that Brawl is not there, so Xixo is just taking it right now and playing whatever he has. On the other hand, Xixo doesn't really care about the Brawl that much because something will be left on board. He has this Haunted Creeper, he has Doomguard and a Power of Warming, so he's really getting closer to lethal. Alright, for Brawl, we can see the egg.
Wow. That was a terrible result for Xixo. That was like the one thing he didn't want to survive. Because there's like only 1 power on the board.
Yeah, the Spider is not doing much, but it's doing something. And but then again, Baron Geddon might help Tides to come back. Also, Dr. Boom, you know. It was green, so just playing it was snap decision.
4 plus that 2 is 6 plus it has 10. So he has 1 damage off lethal.
Yeah,
and so he taps, very reasonable. Tries to see if he can go for the game-winning push here.
Oh man, the gang boss behind the taunt is so annoying because then the player who gets the gang boss dictates where to trade, how to trade, and how many minions he wants to have on board.
Armor Smith and Shield Maiden is pretty clutch, considering how much he's going to control the state of the board. I mean, if Xixo can't stabilize can't end the game before Tides stabilizes, I think Tides is just going to come back with a vengeance.
Oh yeah, especially with the cards he has, like with Geddon, Taskmaster just ready. Like if if Tides of Time will be able to make a move for lethal. Like look at this right now. Well, he won't be able to activate Grumash next turn. But with this Armor Smith, he's back to 17.
Yeah, he's back to 17. Xixo is 4 damage off from killing his opponent. He's using Power Bombing now, just playing his hand, and maybe he can get Doomguard number 2.
Well, he still needs to kill the Armor Smith, so...
Right. Needs to do something so that way he doesn't get punished. Shooting 1 on the Imp Gang boss is terrible. That's exactly what Xixo wanted.
So how much damage Xixo has right now? That's 3, 5, 10, right?
Oh man, but it gets shut down by Shield Slam, and now he's got Baron Geddon or Ragnaros. Ragnaros, I mean, both are equally weak here. Okay, so he goes Gromash.
Well, Tides knows that
sure.
There's no way he's going to die, right? With 5 points of damage on board, and just even getting Power Volming into Doomguard, that would not be enough.
Unfortunately for Tides, and Xixo picked up the right card here. He's got Defender of Argus. That barely keeps him alive for now and puts some reasonable pressure onto the board. And don't forget, again, Ragnaros and Baron Geddon. Not the highest of impact. Wait, is Baron Geddon much better now? Oh, man, that Fiery War Axe. That was so clutch. All right, so that ends the game here. And that means Tides takes a 2-1 lead, and he's going to have to play the Druid deck again.
Whoa, what a game. And now we're going to see the Malygos Druid, but still, like, Zoo versus Warrior, even though Tides didn't...
Just too bad Tides couldn't close it out.
Oh, there is an anti-heal bot. I just don't know what he's playing. I'll just message Tides after we stop casting. I'll be like, all right, Tides, just help me here. I want to know more about this deck.
Okay, well, Mark of the Wild makes sense with Faceless Manipulator, but it's like... It's just like, what is going on here? I don't even know.
So what we can see is that he is setting up a taunt wall with the Dread of the Flame, taunting it up, and then I guess using Faceless on it to get a taunt wall. Then you heal yourself with heal bots, and you kind of want to survive versus aggro. And Malygos will be like you want to survive as long as possible to get Malygos and then win. But how exactly? Not sure yet.
Alright, he's gonna play M-Gang Boss, and then Tides will Mark of the Wild, kill it. Or maybe even Coin Swipe, because there is that, quote, bug, right? Oh, yeah. He's got Mark of the Wild on Echoing Ooze! That's even crazier!
Whoa.
Or does he have to do it? Because, I mean, it doesn't kill M-Gang Boss, but how can you pass up that value? It's insane.
And he has that swipe, so he's not really worried about the tokens.
Stronger, it's a stronger Feral Spirits, and you don't get overloaded.
That's pretty sick. So, Tides of Time combining Mark of the Wild with Druids of the Flame and building his deck around the card. Personally, I don't like buffs that much because buffs in card games, if you lose the card with the buff, you lose the advantage, like card advantage most of the time. But maybe Tides was able to actually make it work. Oh, did it get fixed? I think they fixed it.
No. So what happens is if you swipe on M-Gang Boss, I think it kills it. If you don't swipe on it, like you swipe another target, it spawns a 1/1. Does that make sense? It's like it's like the way the animation works is like how swipe hits a minion first and then swipes across the screen.
Yeah.
So it's very quirky, but it sort of makes sense if you can pair that together. Azure Drake falls into the hand for Tides, but he opts to go for
5/2.
What?
He's really aggressive with this deck. I love it.
Yeah, I was like, because his opponent's at 18 health, so I'm guessing he's gonna try to use it to pick apart his opponent's health and then reduce him life tapping.
Well, and it's not like Xixo has a lot of removal cards, right? Like Implosion, but then he's seen one Implosion already.
This is so funny.
Yeah, that's 8 points of damage.
Puts it in Magma Rager mode.
But it might work.
It's gonna do damage. You're right. It's going to work to a certain extent. And now Tides is in a position to pressure Xixo out with Magma Rager. This is insane.
Xixo has to trade this. Like, he is on the brink of dying, and also I think life tapping is locked. Like, you can't life tap in this position because another swipe is going to kill you here. Also, what do you expect coming from Tides?
I'm not sure, man. Tides can drop this Ancient of Lore. Oh, he has lethal. Doomguard Faceless is actually lethal because he gets the charge.
This is so crazy.
Well, that does it. The series is over, and Tides wins with a very uncanny mix of cards that you wouldn't expect